Jinyang County, Shaanxi Province is illuminated by the gentle rays of the sun. An incredible city with beautiful architecture. The hospital is also an important part of this city. In it, someone communicates and addresses the elder. The elder's tumor is growing. Someone points two fingers to his forehead, which seems to be exactly the place where the tumor is located. The healer asks the elder how his head is doing lately, to which he immediately receives an answer from the elder. It hurts even worse than before, but it's still bearable. While drinking a certain drink from a cup, the elder asks the doctor to be honest. It seems the old man wants to know everything. The elder wants to know one thing: how long does he have left? He looks thoughtfully into his mug, thinking about serenity. The doctor was clearly agitated. The elder's qi is still supporting the vessels, but soon such pain will come that the elder may lose his mind. And one day he just won't wake up. Having heard everything, the old man puts his mug on the table. Now the elder understands that there is no point in further treatment. He thanks Dr. Sok for everything he did for him. While the elder is still alive, he invites Sok to dinner at the Liu family's house. Despite the hopelessness of his situation, he is still able to smile, which makes Locke himself slightly perplexed. He serenely looks forward at the gradually retreating elder, who awaits death. His head is full of thoughts. Elder Lu Jinshan leaves while Sok himself bows and asks him to take care of his health. A beautiful sakura tree, under which Lu himself passes. So now he must complete his affairs. This is his goal before death. Everything he built in life. His old memory flashes. Young Lu, standing tall with a spear in his hand. His family. The Lu family. Beautiful memories of a father playing with his young son while a happy mother watches them. Lu watches his sons train with pride. They work hard to become a worthy replacement for their father in the future. Now his precious family. And now, a terrible picture before his eyes. Elder Lu is buried. Now his precious family will be led by his son, and his grandchildren will continue. He doesn't regret anything, but he's so sorry that he won't see his granddaughter Sol grow up. A beautiful, smiling child. She is a special girl, born with a body of immortal integrity. A talented child who will bring greatness and glory to his Lu family. Now the elder is approaching the gates of his palace. The gates of the palace gradually open, allowing the sun's rays to pass through the gap. But a certain eerie aura comes from there. The deadly stench of dead flesh and blood. Elder Lu enters his house, which is filled with a fatal stench. He is absolutely terrified. And now he realized. It's the smell of blood. After understanding comes horror. What the hell happened? What's going on here? Exactly when the patriarch left the house. A crowd of people has gathered around something, and in the middle of them Lu forcefully breaks through. He is scared and irritated and asks to be let in. People are also shocked. Elder Lu Jinshan's eyes are filled with a certain quiet horror. He saw something that shocked him. This is the picture. A picture of death and horror. There are many bodies of bloodied people around who clearly fought before their death. It seems Lu is turning his attention to something else. The fear never leaves his face. On the other hand, the same thing. Dozens of corpses of cut up and bloody people. Taikwang, Chion. What happened here? Lu knows all the people here very closely, so their death is like a blade to my liking. He asks a certain daughter-in-law to wake up, but it's unlikely that she hears anything. It seems that this picture is gradually driving the old man crazy. Everyone is killed. Who could commit such a crime? A heartbreaking picture. Even before her death, the mother protects her own child. It's a pity that this did not help. Lu lost everything. His soul is filled with grief for his family and friends. Why, even before his painful death, cannot the old man simply enjoy his last days of life? Bitter tears flow down the old man's cheeks. It's just a nightmare. The Lu family has never had any enemies. Who could do this? The crowd is simply seething with grief and gossip, but then one of the people shouts, "Stop." The man shouted precisely to the depressed elder that he had already taken up the dagger in order to end his mortal existence and reunite with his loved ones in another world. But people are against it. They want to stop him. Several people are rushing straight ahead towards the elder, with the goal of stopping him. If Lu dies, who will then avenge his family? People are screaming to stop the old man from taking such a radical action. Revenge? Can a weak old man take revenge on someone? And to whom? It's useless. Depressive thoughts filled the old man's mind. The knife is about to stick into the old man's flabby neck. It would be better for him to take his own life and go to his family right now. In death, the old man sees only liberation from his torment. But here, the old man's thoughts are interrupted by crying. The crying of a child. He abruptly drops the knife from his hands. He seems to have realized something. The elder opens a certain barrel, from where exactly this child's cry is coming. Inside is a sobbing Salt, who looks up at her grandfather. The child seems scared. Salt. The elder bursts into screams, calling the name of his precious granddaughter, who was the only one to survive this terrible massacre. Tears flow like a river from both Lu's and Sol's eyes. He picks up his dear girl, looking at her with hope, glad that she is alive. Surely this was done by those who wanted to exterminate his family. They will definitely come back here when they find out that she is still alive. Quickly Lu runs straight inside his palace. People are shocked. The youngest granddaughter is alive. Apparently, the mother managed to hide it before her death. Once again the crowd is bursting with gossip. But then the old man just as quickly runs out of his family palace. Lu, already with a spear in his hands, addresses the residents of Jinyang. He has one last request for them. He asks for help to bury his family. He would like to do it himself, but he needs to leave now. And before all the people, and before heaven, he bows. Before he stains the sacred spear of the Lu family with the blood of the enemies who exterminated them, he is not going to die. The old man is radical and serious. In his mind he addresses his grandchildren, sons, and daughters-in-law. That terrible picture of death flashes in my mind again. He apologizes. I can barely hold back my tears. He bites his lip so much that it even begins to bleed. He keeps apologizing to the dead. Holding his own granddaughter on his hump, he strives forward. Runs with all his might somewhere. Somewhere far away, to hide from your enemies. For now, but soon the old master's revenge awaits them. It had been a couple of decades since Lu had used the art of lightening the body. He runs forward at the speed of a cheetah, leaving behind only a trail of dust. Every cell of his sick body screams in pain. The old man strives forward, despite this, and his granddaughter on his back only smiles sweetly. They must survive. And the old man realizes this, he will do anything for this. Despite the pain or fear. But here, something resembling a blade is about to overtake the elder's head. And he doesn't even see that, because he closed his eyes, baring his teeth. The enemy has found them. A certain ninja attacks the blade with his dagger. His eyes sparkle with a scarlet flame of anger. He is dressed in black robes for the sake of secrecy. Miraculously, at the last moment the old man dodges the blow. He is completely terrified. The enemies are already here, they have come for him and his granddaughter. Accurately, he, bent over, slips as if on ice over the killer's blade. His eyes are full of shock. Ambush. The ninja has an ace up his sleeve and is clearly prepared. Quickly, a shoe blade protrudes from the foot of his teacher, with which he would have killed the old man if he had not dodged again. The killer is fast, however. But these are rather primitive movements. But the old man is no slouch either. He is quickly and sharply about to kick his foot right at the killer's head, causing the latter to be shocked. Lu has a long way to go, so it's best to deal with the enemy as quickly as possible. A roar sounds in the forest. Has the old man really overtaken his enemy killer, who came for his soul? The killer cowered, shielding himself from the blow with his hands, although nothing happened. Only tree leaves fall on his strong body. What? The old man fell? But how? Even the killer himself is shocked by such fortune. The old man's lifeless body lies on the ground while the surprised killer towers over him. It seemed like Lu heard his spine break. Not surprisingly, his old, flabby body is not able to withstand fighting techniques. It has not seen battle for many years. Lu is horrified, as is his granddaughter, who looks at her grandfather with frightened eyes. The killer is quietly walking towards them. Is the death of the last of the Lu family already approaching? Lu is just furious. If he were 10 years younger, this half-educated killer would already be dead, but he must protect Salt of any value, and the killer is already creeping up, flashing his blades, beating dagger against dagger, waiting for the moment of murder. If his friends catch up with Lu and Soul, then things will be bad. The old man quickly gets up and begins to run away from the once again shocked killer. The chase begins. Confidently the enemy runs after his target, an old man and a baby. Running is hard for an old man. He grunts painfully, his bones hurt very much, and the killer is after him. The enemy is a real degenerate. He may be a mercenary, but isn't there anything human in him? How can he chase an old man and a newborn child? A similar phrase comes from Lu's mouth, insulting the honor of the mercenary, although he is unlikely to have it. Quickly, one of the throwing blades almost killed the old man, but he quickly dodged again. Shameless bastard. Lu can't run anymore, so there's only one way out. Looks like Lu wants to fight. If he doesn't hit with one blow, then the old man is finished. Now the killer will overtake them. There is only one chance. The old man swings his family spear, about to attack. Fire sparkles on his weapon. The killer himself is terrified. After all, the old man will now attack, which could simply end horribly for this mercenary. He quickly jumps several meters into the air, intending to avoid the old man's attack. Lu is about to deliver his well-aimed blow by throwing the family spear. Got it. Lu seemed to have a plan in case the killer jumped. He puffs out his cheeks and confidently looks up. He uses a special technique called the lion's roar, which uses sound waves to catch the killer in the air, causing the latter to be terrified. A terrible pain rushes through the assassin's body that he even throws his daggers from his strong grip. The elder is using the Lu family spear technique. First appointment. The spear begins to glow with a furious flame of anger and power. Lu is already starting to attack. He accurately and quickly throws his flaming spear straight at his enemy. Spear technique, swift bright flash. A well-aimed burning spear overtakes the mercenary, striking him, piercing flesh, blood, bones and organs in the chest area. The spear pins him to the tree, terrible pain rushes through the killer's body, it seems his death has already come. Lu is incredibly tired. This technique, and attack were difficult for him, due to the old and flabby body of the old man. Exhaling heavily, he walks forward to the killer, pinned with a spear, who hangs lifelessly. He seems to be dead. Lu told him to stop chasing them. This mercenary is just a half-baked servant. Lu gives an old man's slap to his killer, finally humiliating him. The mask falls off the assassin's face, which Lu himself notices. Lu doesn't know this villain, but he must find out who sent him. Although he will not answer his questions, people like this one commit suicide when they are captured. The mercenary hangs lifelessly on a spear, pinned to a tree. He is bleeding and coughing. He has a dragon tattoo on his neck. And Lu himself pays attention to the tattoo of this killer. Is this really the only thing he will get from it? All this action greatly frightened Sol, and she even burst into tears, but her grandfather is nearby, and he calms her down and caresses her. Having taken the spear, they leave. A grandfather will always protect his granddaughter. For the first time in a long time, a gentle smile graces the old man's face. Young Sol also has a beautiful childish smile on her face. Together they made a halt in the middle of the night, in a deep forest, the darkness of which is only brightened by a fire, on which there is a cauldron in which something is already boiling. The aroma emanates throughout the forest. Salt is probably already so hungry. She just has to wait a little longer. A certain dish is bubbling in a cauldron. Lu was forced to steal some cow's milk and kitchen utensils from a village along the way. He never stole in his life. Truly his old age is full of sorrows. With a gentle smile on her face, Lu gives Sol milk. He boiled it so he could drink it. With a smile on her face, Sol drinks milk straight from her grandfather's hands. She eats well, so Lu praises her. The young child licks her lips and strokes her belly. She seems to have eaten well and is full. What can we do? Lu is ready to do anything for her. He strokes his granddaughter. Lu is happy that she ate, but he doesn't have time to finish. A terrible pain sweeps through Lu's entire body, causing him to scream furiously at the top of his lungs. He throws the bowl with the remains of cow's milk onto the cold ground. The pain is fierce. The tumor is making itself felt again. Lu has never had such a headache. He grabs his head, hoping that his hands will calm it down a little. The old man's mad cries echo through the forest, thereby frightening young Sol herself, who has huddled in her blanket. A memory with the doctor flashes through his mind. Soon there will be such pain that you can lose your mind, the doctor himself said, because one day the elder may not wake up. A terrible headache sweeps through Lu's entire body, but he doesn't think about himself, only about his young granddaughter Sol, who is already crawling in tears to her grandfather, worried about him. And again a memory. The doctor gives the elder some medicines, although he himself previously claimed that the medicines would no longer help. This is not a cure. This is a poison. It is intended to irritate the nervous system. Lu must use poison against poison. It will suppress his tumor and prolong his life. Lu took it just in case. A small bag wrapped in ribbon flaunts in the hand of an old man. Lu loses his mind due to the terrible pain. He is already reaching into his pockets, looking for poison everywhere. He didn't even forget about it. It is used to torture mercenaries. The poison causes terrible pain, but does not kill. Even a strong martial artist will feel such pain as if his body is being torn to pieces. But if he doesn't suppress the pain from the tumor now, then he will die. An old man holds a poison pill in shaking hands. With terrible cries of pain, he falls to the ground, clutching his head, a place of pain, while his young granddaughter is only able to cry nearby. Lu should not die, he should not abandon Salt alone. Only a young girl holds an old man in this world. And so, a forced step, Lu swallows a poison pill that gradually goes from his mouth, down his throat, and then into his stomach. This is just poisonous qi. The old man clearly feels terrible, his face has turned blue. A terrible, burning pain sweeps through the body of the old martial artist, gradually driving him crazy. The old man screams at the top of his lungs, due to hellish pain, tearing out the hair on the back of his head. His face and body turned pale, turning a slight purple color. He lets out a heart-rending scream that echoes and roars throughout the dense, dark forest. How much time has passed? The first question Lu asked after waking up. It seems the pain was so terrible that Lu lost consciousness during the night. Now he is lying on the ground, illuminated by the rays of the sun. Fortunately, the poisonous qi has dissipated. For now, fortunately, the elder is alive. He looks up with his unclouded gaze, straight into the sunny sky. But he doesn't know when the headache will start again. He will not be able to survive indefinitely after being poisoned by the poisonous qi from this poison. Lu must live to keep young soul safe. He looks around, seeing his little granddaughter sleeping on the ground, curled up. He must make his body such that it can heal the tumor and protect Salt from trouble. The old man rises confidently, exposing his muscles, which seem to have not changed at all since his youth. Body restructuring. Restructuring the bones and muscles so that the body is better suited to martial arts. Lu meditates confidently while sitting and concentrating on the ground. However, to do this you need to unlock Muladhara and Sahasrara, and for this you need an amount of qi of 180 years. He has just the qi for 150 years. The whole process seems to have already begun, as a green ball of energy begins to form around Lu's hands. What can he do with such a body? If Lu trains, it will take years, maybe more. He exhales heavily. It seems the technique was difficult for him. He said he had no regrets, but now he has a goal. He takes his family spear in his hands. Elder Lu rises above the earth. Holding the family spear in his hands, he looks into the distance. His young granddaughter Soul, wrapped in a blanket, sleeps on his back. He, Lu Jinshan, is Lu Soul's grandfather. He must not die. Our grandfather sets out on a long journey. A small village is covered in the darkness of the night, only a few lights glow in a few houses. The village is alive, even some new buildings are visible. This is where Lu Jinshan came. For the last 2 days he ate only roots. Fortunately, they came to a certain village. An old master passes through the houses, hiding behind himself. His granddaughter looks around confused. It seems Soul is hungry. It's okay, they came to the village, they will soon have a good meal. Such news makes a child happy. But then Lu himself smelled a certain smell, which made him very shocked. He looks around for the source. It seems that this smell is very familiar to the old martial artist. He continues to watch carefully. Delicious chicken bodies are boiled in a certain dish. This looks so delicious. Deliciousness, it seems that it was the smell that Lu smelled. Several men stood around a cauldron with a bubbling dish, waiting for a meal. They say that even Golia has sunny days. Finally, a chicken for each of them. It's been so long since they've eaten. Men talking furiously to each other. And then suddenly, the men's fun gives way to seriousness. They turn their gaze and attention to something. The man turns to the unknown person, asking him his name. His face is more serious than ever. This someone turns out to be our elder Lu. He appears to be only a simple hungry wanderer. A gentle smile graces the old man's face, and the granddaughter only looks around uncertainly from behind her grandfather. It seems that Lu himself understood what kind of people they were. These were people from the beggars' sect. Lu looks at this group with contempt. Judging by the knots on their belts, one is a first-rank disciple, the other 2 are second-rank disciples. Lu will not only eat well, but also gain valuable information from them. Not good news. Pretending to be a frail old man, Lu addresses them, calling them kind people and asking if they would share a bowl of soup with him. One of the beggars is surprised. He would never have thought that he would ever live to see such times when the nobility would covet their beggarly food. The other beggar is clearly angry. That's it, he says. Does the old man have no conscience at all to rob beggars? But he is easily silenced by another man, who is more hospitable. He invites Lu to sit down, calling him master. People from the beggar sect are not some misers. Lu sits down and thanks them. The elder respects the beggar sect very much, they can be trusted. And then that same man remembers that he forgot to add salt. The three of them move secretly away from the old man, asking him to wait a little. They will bring salt. They shouldn't rush, says the elder himself. Lu seems happy. Finally he eats well, he looks with joy at the beggar's brew. Beggars know the old man. This is Lu Jinshan from the Lu family. Expensive clothes, a child behind your back. The man is sure it's him. Together they secretly discuss. And then a bad idea comes into the man's head. He offers to grab the old man. Others are not sure about this. Will they be able to? They say he was strong in his time. Don't be afraid. The man himself speaks. He realized at first glance that he was now just a bag of bones. He doesn't even have the strength to use his own weapon, he claims. He offers to fall on him en masse, at his command. Holding bamboo bats in their hands, they conceive this terrible plan. Now a man appears from around the corner, with a feigned smile, claiming that it seems that they have already put all the salt in the soup. His memory is very bad. And then the eyes and mind of the beggar are filled with horror. What happened? He turns to Lu in confusion. Noticeable. The beggars salted it well. A satisfied Lu Jinshan states, stroking his belly. He seemed clearly well fed. The beggars are shocked. How did the old man eat everything himself? Salt also liked the broth. They had a great meal. Young Soul is very pleased with the meal. But then happiness comes, and the pleasure disappears from Lu's face. Seriousness and coldness come. Maybe he eats so well because he found scum who are connected with the killers of his family? The beggar is in complete horror. The old man heard everything, but he has the hearing of a wolf. They suddenly rush forward, preparing to attack Lu Jinshan. It's a pity to think that they will easily defeat him. They will send the old man to the underworld, they claim. The bamboo bat is about to overtake Lu while he sits quietly. Quickly, Lu himself only raises his spoon, with which he only recently ate the broth, scooping it. With this spoon he can easily block a blow, even with his eyes closed. Without expecting this, in an instant the joint and the bone breaks, moving in an unnatural direction. A terrible painful scream echoes through the village. And now, on the other hand, another beggar attacks. He is angry because of his friend in the sect. But something hits him in the face, thereby stopping his futile murder attempt. Easily, Lu himself knocks out the second one, with the same spoon, without even opening his eyes, and without getting up. Now the third one is pouncing on top of the old man with the aim of attacking. It seems that the example of others taught him nothing. It's a pity that it's most likely in vain for him. Another simple move from Lu Jinshan that will most likely stop the beggar immediately. With his old hand, Lu can easily break the bamboo bat without even doing anything. Quickly he grabs that pathetic beggar by the neck. Perhaps it's bad to joke with an elderly martial artist. A strong old man holds a beggar over him, the soul of the latter. Lu needs answers. Was this beggar sent by his sect? He's interested. Is the beggar sect connected to the murder of his family? Another question from Lu. The strangled beggar cannot even answer, only wheezingly begging for mercy. But Lu doesn't care who he is. If he doesn't speak, then he will tear him to pieces with his bare hands. But the old man can do it, he can. Another beggar with a broken arm asks that they not be blamed. They are not related to those who attacked the Lu family. They just wanted to hand him over to the alliance because the old man was wanted. But Lu himself doesn't even understand what this beggar is talking about. What other alliance and search? As proof, the beggar shows a certain small sheet of parchment. The sheet turned out to be a wanted poster for Lu Jinshan himself, patriarch of the recently exterminated Lu clan. Lost his mind due to a state of qi corruption. Lu himself is shocked by this. The Alliance asks everyone who finds this man to arrest him and hand him over to the authorities, as he is insane and kills innocents. Signed by the Murima Alliance. Lu is in complete shock. Why did Murima do this? Why did the Murima Alliance issue such a slanderous decree? Out of anger, Lu squeezes the parchment. If anyone wanted to know the story of the destruction of Lu's house, he only had to ask the people of Jinyang. Beautiful and high mountains, brightened by the gentle rays of the setting sun. But the fact that a decree was issued to arrest Lu means only one thing: the Murima Alliance is connected with the murder of his family. And here is another technique from Jinshan. Or someone in high office is manipulating the leadership of the Murima Alliance. Have you really made enemies of Lu in the highest ranks? Lu trains hard to always be ready and prepare his body for the future. In that case, his enemy might be the Murima Alliance. The old man trains hard to always be ready, for the sake of his granddaughter. Even if Lu spends the next 5 years rebuilding his body. It's like trying to break a rock with a stone. During training, our hero's hand overtakes a rock. How symbolic. A giant rock towers over Lu Jinshan. The rock is like the Murima Alliance, and Lu is just a stone that tries to break it. Nevertheless, it's worth being patient, says Lu himself. He must endure. Using all his strength, screaming heavily, he prepares. Older to the blow. Bones creak under the pressure of their owner's strength. If Lu finds evidence that it was the Murima Alliance that killed his family, then he will break this rock no matter what. Lu family technique, hand of heaven and earth. This special technique is used by Lu himself to break this rock, proving to himself that if the rock falls to him, then so will the Murima Alliance. Even if you have to break this rock into millions, no, 10 million pieces. Using his technique confidently, Lu smashes the rock into smithereens. His palm touches a strong rock, many small cracks form on it. In an instant, Lu squeezes his palm, tearing the rock into small pieces. Crazy power seethes inside the old body. He easily breaks the rock into smithereens. It seems that nothing can stop our hero. Only one question torments his mind. How could the Murima Alliance, consisting of virtuous followers of traditional Buddhism, do such a thing? Behind the old man you can hear the light cry of his young granddaughter Soul. It seems the girl is hungry. But he gave her milk, why doesn't she drink it? Doesn't he want to? The girl throws a bamboo glass of milk. Lu is shocked, but the old man quickly grabs the flying glass. The old man laughs easily. The salt almost spilled the milk. She should drink quickly, she needs to eat to grow big. Now the old man himself holds the glass so that the situation does not repeat itself. But the girl clearly does not want to drink this milk, knocking the glass out of the old man's hands. Soul is a hooligan, her character is like her dad's. Lu himself thinks. Well, does young Soul really want his rabbit shish kebab? Lu himself asks mockingly. It seems the old man got it right. As soon as Soul saw the juicy fried meat, her mouth watered and her appetite was whetted. Well, how will Soul eat if she hasn't gotten all her teeth yet? But the girl still really wants meat. And then Lu himself came up with the idea. If Soul wants a shish kebab, let him say, Dida, using the syllables, Dadushka. And it seems that the girl succeeds, she pronounces the first syllables of the word, grandfather. It's incredible that she will actually say a word. Lu is shocked. How does this girl talk? But in the end, the young girl's Soul only clumsily pronounces the word uncle. Incredible. She's already talking. The child is growing by leaps and bounds. Young soul continues to awkwardly pronounce uncle. The body of immortal integrity makes her so extraordinary. Amazing, simply amazing. It seems the elder is clearly proud of his young granddaughter. She is definitely a special child. Beautiful mountains are illuminated by the gentle rays of the setting sun. Throughout the old man's journey, his granddaughter continued to say the same uncle, but the old man cannot give her meat yet. They should look for something to cook her porridge with. Lu doesn't know how widely the order for his arrest was spread, but it's better not to catch the eye of the martial artists. Lu makes his way secretly through a certain city. What luck, they met an ordinary woman. An unknown lonely maiden stands in the middle of the night city. Lu turns to her, and the maiden asks the old man who he is. She seems a little worried. Does the maiden have some cereal? A child with tarche needs porridge. She hasn't eaten for a couple of days. It seems that the girl, having paid attention to the child, is surprised by something. But she didn't seem to suspect anything. What a disaster. Such a baby has nothing to eat. It seems they truly have found a good maiden. The girl says that she can breastfeed soul. The old man seems in shock. The girl is truly too generous with strangers. Is this possible? Interested in Lu. Of course you can, babies need milk to grow. Lu gratefully thanks this little darling. Strange generosity. But the girl asks Lu to turn away. It seems she is a little shy. Lu, of course, turns away from the girl. They happen to meet such a kind soul as this maiden at such an hour. His granddaughter didn't even get to eat her mother's milk before she learned to feed herself. An upset old man asserts. And Lu doesn't want to steal milk from people anymore to feed her. The elder asks the girl how his granddaughter eats. But the maiden is silent. Only a thick fog rises above the ground, further covering it in complete darkness. Turning around, Lu Jinshan sees a terrible picture. There was no kindness, only deception. The girl is already trying to get away from Lu. Has she gone crazy? What is she doing, damned one? The virgin is crazy. When she runs away she claims that she will be rich. She will have so much gold. A crazy paranoid smile flaunts on his face. But at one moment, a strong and well-aimed blow lands right at the back of the girl's head, and she doesn't have time to finish her next crazy speech about wealth. Lu neutralizes the maiden, quickly taking his granddaughter from the cursed woman's grasp. The maiden falls to the ground. Lu grabs his granddaughter, but doesn't let the crazy girl fall, holding her by the scruff of the neck with his family spear. Shameless woman. Why did she want to kidnap Lu's granddaughter? But the old man doesn't have time to finish. But why? Sharply Lu Jinshan turns his attention to something. His confident gaze is directed into the distance, looking for something. Same. On a certain board there is not only a wanted notice for Lu, but also a search for little Lu's soul. Even in this remote place there are orders for his arrest. Yeah, the Murima Alliance really wants to capture our grandfather. And the crazed Lu Jinshan kidnapped the newborn girl he was carrying with him, claims the wanted poster. The one who saves the girl and delivers Murim to the Alliance will receive a generous reward. Signed by the Murima Alliance. On the wanted list there is a simple drawing of a young girl. What kind of nonsense is this? Who in the Murima Alliance needs salt? Lu is in complete shock from everything that is happening. What does this alliance even want? And then a certain group of people is already approaching our Lu, which makes the latter clearly alarmed. This means it's not just warriors he should be wary of. Their portraits are probably already hung all over Shaanxi province. The smile disappeared from the old man's face, now only anger and anxiety. These arrest orders are everywhere now. A trio of certain people are talking to each other, furiously discussing the current situation. One of them heard that the Lu were a respected family. it would be better if the old man lived out his life calmly, rather than going crazy. Lu always tried to live by honor. And what? He would never have thought that the last years of his life would be wandering and shying away from people who consider him a demon and a child abductor. But then one of the men says something else interesting. Not long ago, the great Bok family, who lived nearby, was also slaughtered. They say they killed everyone in one night. Great Beck family. They were more numerous than the Lu family. And they had no less great warriors, and here the man wants to add something else strange, because the bodies of the children were never found. People say they have seen children being taken away by villains. It seems that just this mention made Lu Jinshan completely terrified. This is not a coincidence. These must be the same villains who killed Lu's family. And not everyone can slaughter such a family of great warriors like Bayok in one night. Is the Murim alliance really behind this? But why? And then cheerful Soul begins to turn to her grandfather, and then it seems that some realization comes to Lu himself. When Soul was born, people only talked about her. The daughter of the Lu family was born with a body of immortal integrity. Lu remembers. About that time, the Murima alliance sent them an elixir to strengthen their chi salt. They conveyed to them the words that it was a great joy for all of Zhonggu that a girl was born with the same body constitution as the Sword Empress, the greatest martial arts expert. The Murim alliance is well aware of his granddaughter. That terrible picture of death and rivers of blood flashes in my mind again. It turns out that the goal of these scum was to exterminate all the adult members of the Lu family. And they wanted to get salt. Lu Jinshan is angry, now he is fully aware of who his real enemy is. Damn scum! Lu's soul and body are filled with frantic anger and a thirst for revenge on the Murima alliance. Even if Lu really gets damaged by Qi and becomes insane, Lu's thoughts are abruptly interrupted by someone screaming. A certain man notices Lu. Well, of course. Lu couldn't go far with a child in his arms, he claims. These someones turn out to be the same beggars. But along with them, someone else, unknown, rises above them. In vain. Starche left them alive, now the best assassin of these parts is with them. The conditions of an assassin are as follows. He himself must bring Lu and Soul to the Murima alliance. The killer's terrible gaze is directed at them, but the beggars don't mind. What luck, it's hard to believe that this killer can become famous so easily and quickly, he thinks, continuing to look with a predatory gaze at his target. But in 1 second there was no trace of Solya and Lu. They seemed to have evaporated, the killer himself was shocked by this. Even if Lu becomes crazy. At that same second, the figure of Lu rises above the assassin, until the killer understands where the old man has disappeared. Even if Lu becomes mad, he will kill them all. Anger and malice fill Lu Jinshan's old but strong body, his eyes sparkle with the scarlet flame of malice. The trio suddenly turns around, where the angry Lu is already waiting. They seem visibly shocked. But suddenly, when they turn around, there is nothing and no one behind them, even though they clearly heard something. At the same moment, Lu himself moves quickly, jumping on the rooftops, wanting to get away from here as quickly as possible. Lu could not control his anger and almost received a chi corruption. So silly. Thoughts are tormenting the old man's mind. If he had not stopped at that moment, then he would have turned into the madman that the villains from the Murim alliance paint him as. Only little Soul interrupts the depressive thoughts of her dear grandfather, who values her very much. The girl shouldn't be afraid, because Lu will never allow this to happen again. A gentle smile appears again on the grandfather's face. Now Lu is completely confident that their salt is a real talisman of true luck. The little girl just looks at her old man in confusion. The girl truly saved her grandfather. They run along the rooftops, trying to get away from the city. Having learned that the whole world was against him and Seoul, Lu was forced to find a place where no one would disturb them. High and old mountains are covered with smooth fog. They are brightened by the rays of the gentle sun. A certain bird sits on a straw hat, they sleep quietly on it. Lu walks confidently, looking for a place that might become their new home for a while. He confidently strives forward, always ready, because the enemy can be anywhere. Assassin, mercenary, Murim alliance people, anyone can now be an enemy. 2 months have already passed. It seems that the old man himself has found something interesting, and asks his granddaughter to look. Only the awakened girl opens her sleepy, sticky eyes, hoping to see something. They finally found what they were looking for. Even the young girl is surprised. The old man points his finger at their find. Just like a castle, Lu himself jokes. There is a small shack in front of them. It looks like this will be their new home. The hut is surrounded by an uneven fence, forming a shallow yard. There's even a vegetable garden here, how lucky. Lu is sincerely happy about such a wonderful find. He confidently strides forward towards the entrance. Carefully, looking around, he comes forward, looking inside and looking for possible danger. Considering that this house was abandoned a long time ago, it is still quite clean. Indeed, the house is neat, even some furniture remains. The furniture hasn't rotted, which is good. And then Lu turns his attention and gazes to something. He finds a precious jade box. Maybe it contains jewelry that can be sold. The old man seems very pleased with the find. But inside the box there are only throwing needles. Looks like a martial artist once lived in this house. 7-string guzheng and throwing needles. What a rare combination, the old man himself thinks. It seems that the former owner of this house is not an ordinary person at all. Since there are such strange combinations here. And now it's night. There is a light glowing inside the house, and there is also a certain aroma. It seems that they are cooking something there. Here comes food for Salt. It's time to eat, dear granddaughter Lu, she's probably already very hungry. Lu comes into the house with a table on which there is a bowl of delicious porridge. The girl is very happy. The awkward girl claims that she is hungry. How sweet it is. She's already learning words. And her grandfather is still blowing on the porridge so that it is not too hot. A hungry girl happily savors delicious porridge. Her old man is glad she eats so well. Nimble little girl. She eats as well as Lu's son once did. The memory of young Lu feeding his son flashes through his mind. Lu has been doing martial arts all his life, but now he understands what kind of work it is to raise children, and that my daughters-in-law were busy from morning to night. How Lu wished he could turn back time and praise them all. But time, unfortunately, cannot be returned. Lu never thought that one day he would lose this opportunity forever. A terrible picture of hopelessness flashes in my mind again. Young Lu, while eating, does not understand the reason for her grandfather's thoughts. Is your uncle crying? Seoul asks a childish question to Lu, while the latter truly sheds terrible tears of grief. Who's crying? It was just smoke that got into his eyes while he was cooking. Lu himself easily shrugs it off, while the young granddaughter continues to repeat that her uncle is crying. Lu remembered that he forgot to turn off the stove. He'll be back now. Calmly Lu leaves the house barefoot. What a shame, how could he seem so weak in front of her? Thinking, Lu sits on a bench, punishing himself. Maybe Lu is just tired of their restlessness and wants to settle down. When he learned what those villains from the Murima alliance were planning to do to them all Lu could think about was revenge. But revenge will wait. Now the most important thing is to raise Salt healthy and strong. The soil in the garden looks fertile, and there is also a well nearby, says Lu himself. So he'll start growing vegetables. Quickly, Lu begins weeding the beds in his field. He will grow many different vegetables for Sol. The old man seems ready to do absolutely anything for his granddaughter. It seems that the old man is already a little tired of this daily routine. Yeah, his body is already old. There was a sharp, painful crunch on his back. What was that? A terrible scream comes from Lu's mouth. His back began to hurt very badly. Old age is no joy. But in Lu's pain, he is distracted by his granddaughter, who clumsily repeats her grandfather's last words. She stands in the middle of the garden, repeating the old man's words that his back hurts. How cute is this baby, isn't he? Lu is shocked. After all, his granddaughter is standing on her own legs for the first time. Grandfather is extremely happy about this progress. Lu asks Sol to try to approach her grandfather. The same one is only at a loss from such a request. The girl tries to take a step, but trips over a stone, and is about to collide face first with the ground. But grandfather catches her. Incredible child. She's already talking and walking. Yeah, Lu is clearly proud of her. Lu invites her to play with her grandfather at home, which makes the girl seem very happy. He puts his straw hat on his granddaughter Sol, and together they, holding each other's hands, rush straight into the house. Tomboy. I'm so tired from walking today. She looks like a little bodhisattva in her sleep. Towers over the sleeping Sol and her grandfather. Confidently picking up a spear, he claims that tomorrow he will feed her meat. Lu decided he was going hunting. In the dark, animal senses become even more acute. Lu will quickly comb through the forest using the lightweight body technique. He moves quickly through the dark forest. He suddenly turns his attention and gaze to something. He seems surprised. There's a big deer wandering around here somewhere. If Lu doesn't deal with him, then he might ruin his beds. He touches the claw marks on one of the trees. Lu quickly rushes forward, following the marks left by the deer. He will find him, he just needs to not attract predators with the smell of blood. Suddenly Lu turns his gaze and attention to something else. People. Where are the people here from? Lu thought there was no one else in these mountains except them. A certain trio stands in the middle of the forest, surrounded by fog. The big man tells the other two off. Why are they late? And what about their faces? He wonders if they collected tribute from these traders. Tribute. Just that one word made Lu angry. Is this mountain a haven for bandits? Quietly, and hiding, Lu watches the group from behind the bushes. And also the elder one is interested in where the rest of the group is. It turned out that the merchants were walking with guards, and the guards turned out to be warriors of the Wudang sect. Taoist monks, in general, adds another. The elder is shocked. So their brothers were killed by these scum. Yes, it's true. Bandit confirms. But they also managed to finish off one Taoist. He learned that he was a second-generation disciple of the Wudang sect. But the elder is unhappy. Did you kill just one? What about the other one? He ran away with his tail between his legs when he saw that reinforcements had arrived, the bandit replies. Stupid people. The elder is clearly angry, because they both had to be killed. Now the group of these bandits is finished, the elder thinks. And it's true, if they didn't want to be discovered, they had to kill all the witnesses, and Liu himself understands this. They killed a monk of the Wudang sect, and punitive forces will be sent to them. Soon there will be a massacre on this mountain, Liu himself thinks. This mountain is his home. Liu must intervene before these bandits set them up. Liu's confident, cool gaze is directed at the group. Sharply, the elder draws attention to a certain rustling in the bushes nearby. He seems shocked. He suddenly gets into a fighting pose, about to draw his weapon. He's ready to fight. What kind of rat is hiding there? Others just threaten. Oh, who talks to elders like that? What are they? And now Lu himself rises among the bushes, with a spear ready for battle. Would the bandits want to say hello to their neighbor? With a confident gaze, Lu looks straight into the soul of the bandits. They mock him, thinking that he has gone crazy. He was probably abandoned by his children in the forest, they joke, not realizing the full picture. It's immediately obvious that he's crazy. All these little phrases are clearly starting to infuriate our guy. Older. And the elder is already directly addressing Lu. They are the Black Sword Mountain bandits, and this mountain is their place. If the elder doesn't want to die a death other than his own, then he better get lost before they change their mind. How is this their mountain? If it belongs to nature, the bandits better return to their leader and say that an old man has settled at the foot of the mountain. And don't even come close to this place, otherwise Lu will bleed them all. The elder himself gives radical advice. It seems that now the bandits are clearly afraid of the pressure and the old man's confidence. They bow respectfully. They will immediately hand over everything to their leader. Quickly they bowed before a strong enemy. But it seems this was just a pathetic joke on their part. Did the old man really think that they would answer him like that? No, Lu was well aware that they obviously would not answer that way. The old man squints his gaze to the left, as if seeing something there. One of the bandits clearly doesn't like the old man's talk. Is he really playing a trick on them? He is already rushing forward with a saber in his hands. Let's betray you to the countrywoman you love so much, says the same bandit, jumping on top of Lu, already about to attack him with a saber. Lu stands confidently, calmly looking forward. If Lu wants to, don't dare come here anymore. We must show them to Lu, like walking to the moon. It seems that Jin Shan is going to stop the blade with one simple movement. He delivers a simple blow with his fingers, which is enough to shatter the blade into smithereens, into many small fragments. The bandit himself simply flies away from such a powerful blow from elder Lu Jinshan. He continues his flight in the air, unable to in any way counteract the mighty martial artist's power. And under him the elder man is already rushing forward, who is already about to strike with his blade directly at the old man. And so, it seems that the blade of the blade finally reached the old man, cutting through his neck and cutting off his head from his shoulders. Poor old man, they were on good terms with him, but he couldn't figure it out in time. The eldest rushes forward, already with a weapon in her hands. It seems that he is hoping for a quick reprisal against Lu. But the old man is always one step ahead. At that very second he appears behind the elder, literally in an instant. The bandit is horrified by such speed and strength, and Lu only begins to speak mockingly with the phrase, well. Lu just wanted to say the same thing as the elder. Raising his hand, he was about to use the Lu family technique. Hand of heaven and earth, fourth move. Literally a second, and it seems the end of the bandit will come. Lightning in the back. Lu himself uses this technique, which was part of his family's teachings. Marks, and a quick blow hits the bandit right in the back, bringing him terrible pain, as if a discharge throughout his body. Many terrible sensations of pain rush through the scoundrel's body like a discharge. The same one is only in horror, not having time to understand anything. He shrinks, clutching his chest, and begins to groan as if suffocating. Lu himself thinks that he is only pretending. The bandit watching this is completely horrified. How could an old man do this to two strong guys? But in 1 second the pain disappears. Even the elder himself is shocked by this turn of events. But the anger is still in his body. The desire for revenge is bursting right from within his body. He angrily looks back at the old man, baring his teeth, revealing a palisade of slightly crooked teeth, and teeth white as snow. It seems that the elder did not understand anything. He again rushes into battle, jumping in anger on Lu Jinshan, expecting that this time he will definitely kill him with his crooked blade. Life teaches him nothing. In 1 second, a dent appears on the tree behind the elder, as if created by magical power. He's shocked. And his comrades are also horrified by such power. He turns around to take a closer look at the reason for that crunch in the wood, and sees a dent. A powerful stream of power comes from the wind directly from Lu. A wave of power breaks through the forest, and everything around. Lu's power is truly unfathomable to these stupids, as well as to most of the entire world. All the trees around Lu are completely broken. Even though he didn't make a single move. Is his will really so strong that it can not only break a stone, but pierce through the entire forest? Turning around, the bandits are terrified. Their eyes and souls are full of fear of the great strength and power of the old man. Lu wanted to teach them manners, but since this was their first meeting, he would let them go this time. The old man is as straightforward as ever. "Get out," he shouts to them. And then a question is heard from the fog. "Will you let go, then?" You can see the figure of a large and powerful healthy man, who is surrounded by the darkness and fog of the dense night forest. Has there been a mud flow here? A huge bald man rises, with an equally huge axe over his shoulder. He looks at this whole picture arrogantly. This man is the second leader of the gang of these bandits. A fat, huge man towers over Lu, but the latter is not intimidated at all. He looks at him in such a way that this man is not a clouded person. Knows a few tricks. Pathetic dogs, he insults his people. Were they arguing with this old man? Yes, he doesn't understand at all who he's talking about, and what a powerful person is behind him. Immediately strikes with his huge axe, because the old man should have been immediately cut in two. It seems that the blade is about to overtake Lu. Lu family technique. Hand of heaven and earth. First appointment. Lu uses this power and accurately dodges the strong and fast blow of the meat colossus. It seems that even such thugs have nothing to do with our old man. The axe hits the ground, never reaching its target. A fatal blow that leaves no trace. Accurately, strongly, and quickly, Lu Jinshan strikes right on the thug's chin. Yeah, the latter clearly didn't expect this from the flabby old man. The thug quickly flies away from Lu's blow. Probably already in the next world. In shock, the bandits look into the sky, where their second leader floats from the blow, who also easily flew away from just one blow from a seemingly flabby old man. He lands with a crash on solid ground, engulfed in the darkness of the night. Well, obviously none of these idiots expected anything like this. They turn to their enemy in horror, fearing that the same fate awaits them as their second leader. Degenerates, Lu said that they will not have a second chance. They better get lost and never show their face here again. But hidden behind the fog, Lu does not have time to finish his speech for the bandits of this mountain. But abruptly, for some reason Lu remembers his eyes. Frightened bandits don't even understand what's going on. The terrible pain from the tumor sweeps through the old man's body again. Why now? At such an important moment. Suffering engulfs Lu's body, his eye hurts terribly. He falls to his knees defeated, clutching his head, not realizing that this will not help in any way to reduce pain and suffering. The bandits are shocked. What's wrong with this old man, they think, not understanding anything. A heart-rending scream comes from the old man's mouth as he struggles to stuff a ball of poison into his mouth. Lu must not faint. Salt at home, all alone. How can she live without her only grandfather? The terrifying scream continues to echo throughout the forest as the bewildered bandits watch the scene of the old man's helplessness. They don't understand what he just ate. Isn't this the same elixir that irritates the nervous system, they guess, which seems to have led Lu to complete horror. Hey, Why is there such a thing, they wonder. Doesn't matter. This is their only chance to kill him. Together they attack the old man, planning to attack him while he is unable to do anything. The elder one strikes first with his foot right at the old man's head. The real beating of helpless Lu begins. How can we sow an attack on the chasing bandits of the Black Sword? They won't let him die quickly, so he better get ready. Pathetic cowards beat up a helpless old man. They have no honor. Before his eyes, Lu only sees a terrible picture of his beating. Gradually his eyes are closing. No, because Soul is alone at home, she is waiting for him. An old man can't die so easily, what about his granddaughter? Soul, only this name is spinning in Lu's head. And then a conversation sounds in your head? Is this the old man? Yes, leader. Of course, he arranged it for them. But luck was with us, and they taught him a lesson. And now before my eyes there is a picture of the beating of just that senior. But for what? The bloodied elder does not understand the reason for his beating. Stupid creature, the chief Bada of the Black Sword Mountain Bandits insults him. The strong man seems to continue his punishment of his own people. Does he have no brains at all? Yes, he beats his own subordinate badly. The awakened Lu only quietly watches this whole picture. They used to beat him, now they beat those who beat him. Funny picture, though. Why did they tie him up like that? The leader scolds. Lu is surprised. Is he alive? How much time has passed? The shackled old man is tied with strong steel chains directly to a certain wooden column. He is covered in blood and bruises from the beating. Soul, she's still alone at home there. The old man is only thinking about her now. And then the leader is distracted from beating, insulting, and counting out his man. He looks with his predatory gaze directly at the chained Lu. He speaks directly to the wounded old man, who looks at him with his indomitable gaze of a martial artist. Is this their leader? The man comes closer, flexing his fists. Is another round of beatings already awaiting our old man? Strangely, the gang leader apologizes for the behavior of their servant. And he turns to Lu, calling him elder. He seems to know Lu, or at least the ad video. Why didn't he kill Lu? The old man himself is interested, looking straight at the leader with his tired gaze. The leader of the Black Sword Mountain Bandits apologizes to Lu, which is quite strange, however. But it seems Lu doesn't believe these apologies, he's a cunning bandit. Lu seems to understand what the bandit is up to, but he will not fall for such a trick from such a thug like them. Lu must return to Seoul immediately. Damn it! They chained him so tightly that he could not break them. These chains could only be cut by weapons charged with the power of Qi. If the leader knew that they had such a neighbor, then he would come to them and greet them personally, and again a portion of apologies, but if the leader really apologizes, then let him go, says Lu himself. Surprisingly, the leader shouts to his man to give him the keys. Strange outcome of events, however. The gang leader will remove the chains from the elder's body, and then the bandit will untie his hands. Lu continues to silently listen and watch, waiting for his moment of release. And here is the moment of truth. The chains open, freeing Lu, and the leader only asks him to restrain his anger. But the elder could not restrain himself. Hit! The elder attacks with his foot first. A strong and well-aimed blow from Lu Jinshan, the elder, lands straight into the leader's stomach. Incredible strength, the leader flies to the side from such a powerful blow. His eyes are full of horror and delight from such power. But the leader thought that Lu would do something like that. More chains are visible on the elder's hands. Yes, the bandits severely shackled him, afraid of his power. Lu has a colossal amount of internal energy. With all his strength, Lu rushes forward, even breaking the column behind him, his pressure is inevitable and impenetrable. But in an instant the second leader falls on the old man and attacks with an axe. He survived after all, and he doesn't like that the old man is fighting again. A strong but blunt blow with an axe almost would have caught Lu, but at the right moment he dodged this attack of the thug. Lu even managed to strike the huge guy himself. Why does he fly into knockout again? Lu Jinshan's strength is too great, even thugs like these can't stop them. The second leader himself falls to the ground, and while Lu is running away, he easily jumps over the large carcass of the bandit. Anger fills the fat body of the bandit himself, and again some old man put him down. What a shame, no matter how. But the flow of insults is interrupted by Lu's thin, fast foot, which accurately steps on the second's face, interrupting the flow of his meaningless chatter. Jumping high into the sky, Lu himself rises above the night forest and trees, trying to get away while the fat guy orders him to be killed. Damn, there are a lot more of these bandits than Lu thought. He quickly flies right over them while they look up in amazement, right at the flying old man. What a miracle! There are also archers on the walls of the bandit camp, and they are well developed. They are already pulling their bowstrings under angry screams, about to shoot at their enemy. Yeah, Lu clearly didn't expect this. It's hard to dodge everyone. You may have to take a wound in the arm to defend yourself. He covers his face with his hands in order to somehow block the arrows of the bandits. They have already pulled their bowstrings, and are already aiming directly at Lu, about to fire the first volley of arrows at the floating old man. But they are interrupted by the leader of the Black Sword Mountain Bandits, who shouts at them to stop. It seems that he has already recovered from Lu's strong blow. He tells his people not to interfere with the old man's path, and he calmly leaves. Lu flies over the walls of the camp, already preparing to move away from this place, hiding in a dark night forest full of trees. He lands well on the ground outside the camp. He only thinks about Soul. No problem, Grandpa will be with her soon. Lu's power amazes the leader. Incredible kung fu. He is still a true martial artist, the leader of the gang understands. The second leader, holding his sick face, wonders why their leader let the old man go. Their guys disappeared in the mountains, because it was probably Lu who killed them. But the leader himself shuts him up so that he doesn't talk nonsense. They shit themselves, and now the leader will have to clean up after them. Yeah, the man is clearly evil because of all the actions of his people. The fate of the Black Sword Mountain gang depends only on this so-called old goat, by which we mean our old man Lu Jinshan. It's strange, where does the gang leader have such respect for the master? And now Lu has already appeared in his new yard and home. He screams, turning to his granddaughter, because grandfather has come. He is very worried about his granddaughter, because she was alone for so long at night, in the middle of a dark forest full of bandits. Lu is hopeful that no predator wandered here. He continues to shout to his granddaughter, not understanding why she doesn't answer. It's strange, although she may be sleeping. But everything seems fine. The little crying girl runs up to her grandfather, who is already very worried about her. Lu hugs her tightly. There is nothing scary anymore, there is no need to be afraid, because grandfather is already with her. She continues to address him childishly, calling him uncle. Such a little girl was left all alone. She was probably scared, Lu himself thinks. He apologizes to her, he will never leave Soul alone again. She really repents of it. And then for some reason the girl begins to croak. Even Lu himself pays attention to this, wondering why she is doing this. But it turned out that it was not Soul who was croaking. While her grandfather was away, the girl found a small toad. The crying quickly disappears, and a gentle smile appears on the child's small, plump face, where only a few teeth have erupted. Can't be. How she caught it. She's so gifted. It seems that Lu will never tire of praising his granddaughter with immortal integrity. The girl must be hungry, right? All she has to do is go home and Grandpa will cook something for her to eat. But first, does Lu really have some unfinished business? Lu's face suddenly changes from a cheerful and gentle smile to seriousness, coldness, and darkness. What was he up to? He warned them. Has someone really come to the house of Soul and Lu, and the latter is clearly not happy about the presence of these unknown people? These unknowns turn out to be the same company of the first Black Sword bandits. Do they really want him to take them to the end? Their faces are more serious than ever, but for now they just look silently. They fall to their knees before the elder, asking him for forgiveness. They are to blame for him. Even Lu is shocked. Did these bastards come just to apologize? But he still doesn't want to have anything to do with them anymore. Lu simply kicks them out of here again. He doesn't want to see them anymore. Never. And then the leader of the Black Sword Mountain gang himself appears. He came to return the Lu family's heirloom spear to him. He realized that it was very dear to him. Therefore, he found him where Lu fell. It won't be easy for Lu to survive in these mountains, and besides, the leader sees that he has his granddaughter with him, because it's good when neighbors help each other, right? Does the leader really hope for anything to charm Lu's teeth? What a cunning one. But Lu saw through his attempts. Taking his family spear, Lu claims that the days of the Black Sword Mountain bandits are numbered due to the fact that they killed a monk of the Wudang sect, but the leader himself seems surprised by this information. Is he really not aware of this? Apparently they want Lu, a martial arts master, in order to use him against the punishment approaching them. But all these words seriously surprise and worry the leader himself. If they hope to deceive him, then they better get lost. Lu is stricter than ever. Even the presence of his granddaughter is unable to calm his hatred of the bandits. Now the leader understands everything. He again asks for forgiveness, but this time for his rudeness. If Lu needed anything, he could come to the Black Sword Mountain bandit gang at any time. They also brought some gifts in a bag to make amends. He asks to accept them. The leader places a bag with unknown contents on the ground. Together, the leader and his little escort move away from this place, leaving Lu and Soul alone with their thoughts. What did they bring there? Lu himself wonders in his head, while little Soul is already reaching inside the bag, looking for something inside. When did this hooligan already have time? And again there is a gentle old smile on Lu's face. She lifts her granddaughter from the bag. And what is so interesting in the knapsack? Lu himself wonders with his eyes closed, not seeing the horror that is in the hands of his granddaughter. Young Soul is holding a real live snake in her hand. The poisonous creature is already about to attack, injecting its deadly poison into the body. Everyone is terrified. These scoundrels put a snake inside the bag. In an instant, and with one movement of his hand, Lu neutralizes the threat in the form of a reptile. Eating a snake is good for the body, but how could you put it alive in your bag? Lu is angry while little Soul plays behind him as if nothing had happened. But still, they brought meat and other edibles in a knapsack. And they are not that rude, even Lu himself admits it. A small hut surrounded by forest and mountains that are covered in darkness and night. There is light inside, and there is also a certain aroma. Empty bowls are displayed on a wooden table. Looks like Lu and Soul had a delicious dinner. When was the last time Lu got this full? He doesn't even remember, but now he can live. He is lying on the floor with his granddaughter, his well-fed belly shining. But there is no time to rest on our laurels. You must always be prepared, and Lu himself never forgets this. An attack of pain can take him by surprise at any moment. You need to do qi breathing exercises at any free moment. He needs a complete body overhaul ASAP. The process is underway. Lu meditates with concentration. He must keep himself under control. He will succeed. He is more confident than ever. He must protect Soul and avenge his family. This is Lu Jinshan's true goal. The flow of qi begins to form around Lu's meditating body, his concentration is at the highest level. But at one moment from meditation, Lu is distracted by someone, and the flow of qi disappears. Young Soul follows her grandfather, getting into a meditation pose. The little child really concentrated. She again repeats after her grandfather, but it seems that the latter even likes this kind of fun of his granddaughter. Well, by the way, yes. It is better to teach Soul to develop qi energy from childhood. The child has fewer blocks on the meridians, so the effect of meditation is doubled. He lightly touches his granddaughter's back. Grandfather will teach her. Together they connect their qi flows, starting Soul training from infancy. But this stream. Even Lu himself is shocked by it, he can't believe his eyes. A strong flow of qi emanates directly from young Soul's body. Lu has no blocks at all, no stagnant energy. Her blood vessels are open and the flow of energy is unimpeded. Truly she is a unique child. A child with a body of immortal integrity. This means that it produces qi concentration tens of times faster. If so, then she can already learn martial arts. This is what gives the body immortal integrity. Maybe then it's worth increasing the difficulty, Lu Jinshan himself thinks. First heavenly circle. To concentrate qi energy, you need to drive it through the entire circulatory system, and back to the center of power. Incredible. Salt can concentrate a huge amount of qi. In one circle, she collects 20 times more qi energy than an ordinary person. But it seems young Soul is gradually starting to fall asleep, or wake up. Perhaps they will end there, at least that's what Lu himself thinks. The Lu family's meditation method, the method of the hand of heaven and earth, is based on the purity of the soul from vices and an unbending spirit. Grandfather gently covers his sleeping granddaughter with a blanket. Gradually, this method of meditation increases a person's qi reservoir. But the weak point of their method is that the result does not come very quickly, unlike the methods of other large sects. But Soul's innate talent solves this problem. Lu gently strokes her young granddaughter. Yeah, Lu's body hurts. It's hard for him because he has little energy. If only he were a little younger. He sits on a bench thinking. And then he draws attention to the bottle that was given to him by that gang of Black Sword Mountain bandits. No. Ginseng wine and a fried snake are, of course, very good for energy, but who do these bandits take him for? Do they think that Lu Jinshan from Shangxi will fall for their tricks? But it seems the old man was caught after all. He is already roasting the snake on the fire. Looks like he wants to use this trick after all. He drinks a glass of ginseng wine in one gulp. Good alcohol, though. After which he snacks on a fried snake. He feels great. How long has it been since he drank? He greedily bites a piece of the snake's tail, and drool still flows down his lips. Is it tasty? Excellent, a wonderful delicacy. It seems that Elder Lu really liked the taste of the snake, and soon he will have plenty of strength. It's good to be alive, even if you're knee-deep in manure. He takes a deep breath of clean forest air. There are only trees around him, surrounded by the darkness of the night. Another glass before bed? Lu himself thinks, looking at the beautiful moon, which is the only source of light in the dark forest nights. But here. Lu is terrified, looking at the moon. His body is filled with anxiety and shock. What happened? A certain stream of energy emanates from the moon, which, like a snake, wriggles in the air, getting closer and closer to Lu. He circles around Lu Jinshan. What is this? Why is it here? It seems that Lu himself doesn't know the answers. Is this a will-o'-the-wisp? Lu himself suggests that he dimly looks straight at the lunar force that came out from the celestial body. Bright, very bright light. Was Lu already drunk on ginseng wine? And this is just the effect of intoxication? He must see it. As if enchanted, he runs straight after the will-o'-the-moon fire, completely forgetting about everything, including salt. As if possessed, Lu ran after the fire into the very depths of the dense forest, shrouded in darkness. He had previously only heard about what he found in fairy tales as a child. Lu's eyes and soul are filled with horror and anxiety. Smoky blue fur, a beast that has killed over 1,000 people over the past 1,200 years. A terrible beast holds the torn body of a man in its bloody mouth. It's a blue-eyed man-eating wolf. The beast, as if emerging from nightmares, grins its eerie muzzle full of a palisade of bloody fangs. At the right moment, Lu manages to hide behind the bushes from the blue wolf. This can't be true. Lu doesn't believe it. Where does the monster from Shangxi legends come from here, in the mountains of Yangzhou? Now Lu will have to choose. Immediately take the salt and run away from here as far as possible. Or, while thinking, a stream of scarlet-like blood qi begins to pulsate around Lu's hand. Second option: Lu. Kill the creature at any cost. The blue wolf is already towering over the elder. Looks like there's going to be a battle now. If you have watched up to this point, then I am very grateful to you, because this is where the video ends. If it's not difficult for you, then like this video and subscribe to my channel. And if you want to continue this story, then write in the comments. Thank you all, I love you all.